Hello, I'm Pierre Landouin, CEO of ICPs, a tool for email enrichment used by growth hackers. People often ask me, how effective is cold emailing? I decided to make a video to answer this question. We'll also look at the average positive response rate to a cold email campaign and determine the volume of emails needed to judge a campaign success or failure. But first of all, a quick disclaimer. There is a lot of information out there about cold emailing. Some companies have a clear interest in making you believe that cold email is a wonderful channel, like a miracle one. I'm thinking of email senders such as Lemlist, Instantly, Reply, etc. and so on. That's their job. They promote their own products. Other companies have the opposite stance. They criticize cold email and present it as a declining, almost extinct channel. These are usually companies selling solutions for alternative channels, like cold calling, inbound marketing, or social ads. ICPs, as an email finder, should have a very positive outlook on cold email. However, email enrichment is a step in our development strategy, not the final destination. So I believe I can offer a relatively unbiased view on this subject. With that said, let's get to the point. Cold email works well if, 1, you have a target audience identifiable online who reads their emails, and 2, if you have a strong, differentiating value proposition. It's important to keep in mind that cold email accelerates success but does not create it. 50% of businesses do not meet these two premises. For example, if you are an ordinary communication agency, cold email will not work for you. This is where the problem lies. Entrepreneurs often overestimate their differentiation. If you run a communication agency and offer services 20% cheaper than the market, you might think that you are differentiated because that was hard for you to reach this productivity gain of 20%. However, to a prospect, this saving is very noticeable. On the other hand, if you meet these two criteria, an online target and a strong differentiating value proposition, cold email can be a very interesting channel, especially if your market is large. A value proposition is strong if you address an important problem for the prospect. It is differentiating if your solution places you in a separate category from the rest of the competition. To differentiate your business, you need to either offer a new use or do what others do, but significantly better. If you want to be cheaper, for example, you need to be significantly cheaper. This means at least 3 times cheaper if the product is high priced, and 10 times cheaper if the product is not very expensive. The prospect must immediately feel a significant change in scale. In his book From Zero to One, Peter Thiel states, as a good rule of thumb, proprietary technology must be at least 10 times better than its closest substitutes in some important dimension to lead to a real monopolistic advantage. Anything less than an order of magnitude better will probably be perceived as a marginal improvement and will be hard to sell, especially in an already crowded market. Let's revisit the previous example. Suppose you're a communication agency. For cold email to work for you, you need to refine your offer to make it differentiating. So here you have several options. You can differentiate yourself by making your brand familiar to your prospects. To do this, you need to be very present on social media with the founder or key employees embodying the brand on LinkedIn, YouTube, and so on. Very few agencies adopt this strategy. That's why it makes it differentiating. Option 2, you can offer a new use. For example, communication as a service, where clients pay a monthly subscription and can call on you as often as they want. Option 3, you can offer a new service, like producing augmented reality communication materials, for example. Option 4, you can niche down in a vertical, becoming the only agency dedicated to external communication for law firms, for example. If you make this effort to differentiate, then yes, cold email can become an interesting channel for generating leads. Now, let's address a common question. What is the average positive response rate to a cold email campaign? Of course, it depends on the industry, the quality of your copywriting, the technical setup, and many other factors. But on average, for campaigns that follow basic best practices, we see a positive response rate between 0.5% and 2%. If you achieve more than 2%, that's good. More than 5%, that's very good. I've seen exceptional campaigns with a 25-30% positive response rate. But these are very particular and rare cases. Conversely, if you achieve less than 0.5%, you need to revise your approach. I provide these figures based on both my personal experience and feedback from several lead generation agencies I regularly communicate with. For those new to cold emailing, these figures might seem low, but in reality, they are not. If you compare the return on investment of a cold email campaign with a Google Ads campaign, you will often find that cold email performs better. I also like to compare it to an offline billboard, those you see on the street or in the subway. Imagine the ratio between the number of people who see the billboard and those who actually buy the perfume advertised on it. We are talking about percentages that are far below 0.1%. So yes, in the advertising world, cold email is a very interesting channel in general. Another question, at what volume of emails can you judge the success or failure of a campaign? The benchmark is approximately 300 prospects. Below that, the sample is not statistically large enough to draw reliable conclusions. In summary, cold email works well if you have a differentiated offer and, of course, follow the basics: good copywriting, good technical setup, and intelligent lead sourcing. That's all for today. Happy prospecting and see you soon.